I don't think North Korea is going to give up its nuclear weapons, so Kim Jong-un needs to come to the summit with Donald Trump with some kind of gift.
President Trump welcomed South Korean President Moon Jae-in to the White House today and threw some cold water on plans for next month's summit with North Korea.
There's a very substantial chance that it won't work out, and that's okay. That doesn't mean it won't work out over a period of time, but it may not work out for June 12th.
But as part of the preparations for those talks, North Korea has been saying it'll offer up a dramatic goodwill gesture this week, dismantling Punggye-ri, the site where they've tested 6 bombs and underground explosions, and they're letting foreign journalists witness it. The thing is, North Korea's put on a similar demo in the past, and it doesn't necessarily mean Kim Jong-un is ready to give up his nukes. On June 27, 2008, after years of negotiations with the United States and other countries, North Korea tried to show the world it was serious about striking a nuclear deal. They invited international media to watch them blow up a cooling tower at the Yongbyon nuclear facility, which had previously supplied plutonium for use in nuclear bombs. At that point, North Korea had only conducted one underground nuclear test, and that explosion was relatively small. Negotiations ended up falling apart in 2009, but North Korea was able to keep conducting nuclear tests, in part because they didn't actually need the cooling tower to build bombs. Over the next 8 years, North Korea tested 5 more bombs, and seismology data indicates that each was bigger than the last.
The first test was probably a failure, and it was really small in terms of the power of the explosive. It was only the equivalent of a few tons of TNT. The last nuclear explosion was a few hundred kilotons of TNT, which is to say about 10 times bigger than the bombs that leveled Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yes.
Lewis and his team used data from satellites and seismologists to create a 3D model of the test site and the tunnels below it. And what they found was surprising. The tunnel setup looked similar to the one the US used for its own nuclear tests in Nevada.
It seems like North Korea didn't reinvent the wheel, but instead went back to declassified American and probably Soviet publications in order to figure out how to bury and space their tunnels.
The last underground explosion in September of 2017 was so big that it created a massive cavity in the mountain, big enough to fit the Statue of Liberty inside. After the test, that cavity collapsed, which set off speculation that North Korea is just making a show of closing the test site because it can't use it anyway.
And as Kim Jong-un himself noted, and we can see in satellite photographs, there are 2 other large tunnel complexes into different mountains that are totally fine.
Another thing experts worry about is that North Korea will only close the entrances to the tunnels, which could give them the option of reopening the tunnels and using them later.
North Korea has dug these massive tunnel complexes into rock. It's not easy to get rid of them. My guess is that what North Korea will do is collapse some of the tunnels, maybe the entrances, and then seal them with concrete. That renders the test site unusable, but not forever, and it's not like North Korea has a shortage of mountains or people to dig new tunnels.
Recent satellite imagery shows that North Korea is removing buildings and equipment from the site ahead of the upcoming demolition. While that's not necessarily unusual, Lewis says it could prevent international inspectors from getting valuable information about the size and type of weapons that North Korea has used there.
Inspectors could have taken environmental samples in order to determine how sophisticated North Korea's nuclear weapons capabilities were. They probably would have been like kids in a candy store. I think that's probably why we see trucks at the site now, carting all the good stuff off.
The tests that North Korea conducted there helped them build an unknown number of bombs. And now Trump is going to see what he can get out of the negotiation.
I don't think North Korea is going to give up its nuclear weapons, so Kim Jong-un needs to come to the summit with Donald Trump with some kind of gift, some kind of deliverable. I think closing the test site and promising not to conduct future nuclear tests is a pretty good thing that he can give Trump that will make the summit atmosphere more pleasant. North Korea closing the test site is going to look great on television. They're going to fly in a whole bunch of journalists who will set up cameras, and then they're going to blow up the entrances to the tunnels, which will make the mountains shake. It's great TV, even if it isn't really disarmament.